Welcome to PGSN and our coverage of the Pleasant Grove Vikings versus the American Fork set. Today, American Fork took game one by a score of 3-2 with a go-ahead run in the 7th and final inning.
Did our number text you?
We'll take a victory here.
On the hotspot for the phone.
Excuse me. So the Vikings look to bounce back here. They're going to have Jared Spencer pitching, but first they're going to bat. Playing shortstop and batting leadoff is number 5, the BYU commit Riker Scow. Batting second, fellow BYU commit Tua Wolfgram. Batting third and playing first is number 25 Zamboni. Playing center and batting fourth is Tanner Christiansen. Batting fifth and playing in left is Slater Scow. Playing catcher, batting sixth is Brad Farr. DHing, batting seventh is Nash Bennett. Playing third and batting eighth is Jacob Baxter. And batting ninth, playing second is number 4 Crew Fox. So the Vikings will have Scow, Wolfgram, 3 Viking hits had a single in the 9th. Tua had a single in the 5th. And Zamboni had a single in the 4th. Fouls up, and we're going to start the game. Just give me 1 second, and I'll have the pitcher for American Fork, but that first pitch is low and taken for a ball. So a 1-0 count early for Riker Scow. And he's going to hit that one into right field, and the catch is not made by the right fielder. He dove on the ground, rounding first, going to second is Scow, rounding second, going for third. And he is in there with a triple, a leadoff triple for the Vikings. So it took the Vikings until the 4th inning when Zamboni hit his single last game, and the first man up, Riker Scow, with the leadoff triple. Tua Wolfgram comes up now looking to drive him in. And the pitch. Taken for a strike. So 0-1 on Tua to start. As he preps the 0-1, that one's hit into deep center field. Backing at the track, at the wall, and the catch is made, but Scow will score on the sacrifice fly by Tua Wolfgram, and just like that, it's 1-0 Vikings. And that is Tua Wolfgram's 2nd RBI of the season. And now Zamboni's up. As that pitch is taken for a ball, 1-0. And that pitch is fouled and out of play. So the Vikings already up 1-0 after a leadoff triple by Riker Scow and then a sacrifice fly by Tua Wolfgram brought him in. So the 1-1 count to Zamboni with Tanner Christiansen up next is taken low for a 2-1. So we apologize for the wind and the feedback we're getting there. And that pitch is taken low and outside, so 3-1 is the count now. The Vikings look primed to have a good first inning. And the 3-1 is foul up the left field line. And so the full count is incoming. I believe it is Jet Walker who is pitching. for American Fork today. He's wearing number 2. And that's who's listed on the Max Preps. So the payoff pitch to Zamboni is hit to the shortstop, fielded, and the throw is in time. So 2 down for the Vikings. A 6-3 ground out for the second out of the inning. So on Max Preps, Jet Walker is listed as an infielder, but the pitcher is wearing number 2, and that's his number. Tanner Christiansen hits that one into center field, and the center fielder is under it and makes the catch. So Vikings are done batting, but not before they score a run. The leadoff triple by Tua Wolfgram, and the Vikings are up 1-0. Excuse me, the leadoff triple by Riker Scow, driven in by Tua Wolfgram. The Vikings are up 1-0. We'll be back right after this. So the Vikings are up 1-0 early after a leadoff triple by Riker Scow, and then driven in by Tua Wolfgram. American Fork will come up to bat. Leading off for them is number 7, Ryder Robinson. He led off in the last game and is looking to have a similar performance. Last game he went 1 for 3 with a walk and a run. So 333 average, 500 on base percentage, and a 333 slugging. Makes for an 833 OPS. So Robinson led off, flew out, and then the Viking pitcher last game was Hudson Banks. He got 2 straight Ks after that. Hudson went 6 2/3, allowing 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, and an error before being replaced by Connor Douglas, who gave up a run, who gave up a run and walked a man without getting an out. He took the loss. And then Jaron Spencer got the final out for the Vikings on a ground out. So Jaron Spencer will be pitching for the Vikings. He will be caught by his battery mate, Brad Farr, wearing number 37. And Robinson is up. He's batting lefty. And the Vikings look to get started defensively here. The first pitch looked good, no call given to him. So 1-0 is what he gets. 2-0. Early hole for Jaron. Is looking to climb out of that here with the 2-0. The pitch is low. 3 balls, no strikes. As Robinson will take the 3-0. That's in there for a strike. So 3-1 for Robinson, given by Jaron Spencer. And that one's hit sharply foul, so the count will move full. And Spencer has quickly gotten back from a 3-0 hole. The wind is blowing north to south, so it's right in my face. And the full count. And that one's fouled back behind the American Fork dugout, and we'll do it one more time. So the payoff pitch for the second time. Grounded softly to second. He fumbles with it, and the throw is not in time. So that will be scored as an error. So Robinson reaches on an error to begin the game. And next up is CJ Mascaro for American Fork. So a man on first, nobody out. And that scoring has been switched to an infield single. So a hit early for Spencer as he checks on the runner at second. Mascaro will be followed up here by Josh Rojas, who came in for the save Tuesday night, as he takes a ball. So 1-0 to Mascaro with Rojas on deck. Man on first, nobody out. Vikings lead 1-0. Spencer looking over at the man on second. His 1-0. He deals. Just high, 2-0 now. So last game, Mascaro went 0 for 2 with a walk, and he scored the game-winning run. Or excuse me, he scored a run in the third. As the runner goes, and he will be safe at second. So a stolen base for Robinson, and just like that, American Fork now has their leadoff man in scoring position. So a 2-1 count from Spencer. As he preps for it, Mascaro. Mascaro will take the 2-1. As he tries to lay down a bunt, it goes foul. So 2-2 the count now. The Cavemen are trying to move Robinson to scoring position early. And we'll see what they can do here on the 2-2 count. Spencer looking to get his first out of the game. Trying to work towards working out of trouble. His 2-2 is ripped foul down the right field line. So another 2-2 count. We'll do it one more time. So Mascaro will get the 2-2. And that one's slicing foul down the left field line and out of play. So as we mentioned in Tuesday's broadcast, American Fork was picked to finish second in this region. PG was picked to finish first. So competitive games will be had when these two match up. And the first one was competitive, 3-2. American Fork won on a go-ahead single in the 7th, excuse me. As that pitch is low and the runner's out at first, but Robinson advances to second.
Third.
Excuse me, yeah, third. So a 2-3 ground out. As Robinson's now on third. Riker Scout opened up the game with a triple, which put him on third, and now the Cavemen are in a familiar situation. Rojas up now, and he will be followed by Dax Watts, who pitched the last game, pitched a gem. He went 6 2/3 as well, but we'll get to that in a second. The pitch is high, 1-0. So last game, Watts is on deck here. He pitched the last game, went 6 2/3 with 2 hits, 1 earned run, 6 walks, 6 strikeouts, and 2 runs with an error. And then at the plate, as here's the 1-0, that's taken for a strike. Good pitch by Spencer there to get back in the count. At the plate, Watts went 2 for 4 with 2 singles. So an all-around player. That's Dak Watts from American Fork. As he is actually from Pleasant Grove. But he goes to American Fork as there. It's going to find a hole. So now we're all tied up at 1 as it's a single through the left field. And just like that, we're all knotted up one more time. So now we will see Dax Watts, as mentioned earlier, the pitcher and the hitter. And he is just a sight to behold. An amazing two-way player, and he'll get his turn at the plate now, as we'll check on Rojas at first. Watts will be followed by Murdoch. Murdoch bat 9th last game. He's batting 5th today. As unless there's a double play, he'll come up in this inning. Spencer checks on first again. He's safe. So the 0-0 pitch to Watts. American Fork has already stolen a base today, as that's hit to short Riker Fields. He can't get it, and both runners are going to be safe. He had it in his glove, it fell out, and now there are runners on first and second, as that is the first error of the ball game, and it advances Rojas to second. And now we will see Murdoch. So Murdoch now. Runners on first and second. The error was on Riker Scow, the shortstop. And that pitch is low, and a good block by Farrer. The catcher has no damages done. So the 1-0. Spencer's dug himself into a couple holes early today. He got out of the first one, but he's in a big one right now, as time is called by the batter. The Vikings started bringing in the first baseman, Zamboni, for what looks like a possible bunt situation, to try and get the runners up to second and third with 2 outs. So Zamboni's playing way in on the grass, and he shows bunt and doesn't take it. The pitch is a strike. So 1-1 the count now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 1-1 is your score in the bottom of the first. The 1-1 is hit way in the air. It's going to be in play, and the catch can't be made, so there's another error. And the Vikings are just lost. As Rojas is going to be out. He didn't know. He didn't know where to go, so he stayed on second. And now there's a talk. The third base coach for American Fork wants the infield fly to be called, and PG's coach says it's a double play. That's the inning. And it looks like it is a double play. So just how they drew it up, a double play to end the inning on the missed fly ball, and then the tag on the runner going to third, and then a step on second ended it for him.
He did call it.
So the infield fly is called. The umpire, or excuse me, American Fork's first base coach is telling the umpires that he had to have called the infield fly rule, and the infield fly rule was called. So that will end the inning, and the Vikings will come up to bat now. So 1-1 after 1, an eventful end of the first inning, but a productive one nonetheless. So after 1, it's 1-1. We'll be back right after this. it was a 7-7.
That was a 5 to a. It was just 5. That's all it was.
I think it was 7-7.
It was a P. It was a P to a 5. So pop out 5.
Alrighty, so Slater Scow up to bat now as that ball gets past the catcher. 1-0 is the count. The final scoring for that last play, it was a pop out to the shortstop and then a tag out by the shortstop. So a double play pop out 6-6 is what that gets scored. But ultimately it ends the inning for the Vikings, as that's a hit by Slater Scow that's going to find grass, and he reaches first base. So the Viking bats are alive and well today after being stifled. After being stifled last game, and they're looking pretty good today. As that is a shallow single to center field. And they'll check on the runner at first. He's safe. And the OL. And he shows bunt, doesn't take it. But it is a strike, so 0-1. As the 0-1 to Brad Farrer is taken way inside. And they say he got hit, so Brad's going to take his base, and the Vikings have runners on first and second.
Here, hold on. I'm gonna want to coach these.
Don't tell him if he wants to be there. It's his right to be there. So 1-1 is your score as the umpires are going to converse. As it stands now, Farrer is on first base and Slater Scow's on second base after Farrer got hit in the helmet by a pitch. And they're going to go, both umpires are going to go talk to the Vikings third base coach, as we'll see what that ends up doing with the runners. But a couple umpire conferences to open the day today. As it's been a confusing day nonetheless. And a cold one out here, as they're going to send the runner back. They're going to send the man on first back after getting what he believes hit in the helmet. The umpires are going to say no, sir. And now Slater Scow is on first with Farrer back up at the plate. So Brad Farrer with Nash Bennett on deck. Bennett's DHing today. So Farrer looking for an ultimate ball don't lie moment here with 0 balls and 2 strikes with Scow on first. As he's going to hit that up to the second baseman. He steps on the bag, throws to first, and it's a double play. So a 5-5-3 double play, and when we thought the Vikings had runners on first and second, now there's no one on with 2 outs. With Nash Bennett coming up, the left-handed hitter. So a couple big double plays in the last 4 outs, and The Vikings dugout is rightfully not happy as Bennett hits that one foul down the right field line. Bennett went 0 for 2 with a walk last game and grounded into an inning-ending double play in the fourth. He's up in the second here, batting 7th and DHing. The pitch is high, so 1-1 moves the count with 2 outs. And the 1-1 to Bennett is just at the knees, but called a strike. 1-2 now. And the 1-2 swung on and fouled back out of the catcher's glove. We're going to keep the count at 1-2. Jacob Baxter will be up next. He's playing third today, batting 8th. As the Vikings are in blue jerseys, dark blue jerseys, and gray pants, and American forks, and they're all whites, pinstripes. So the 1-2 count as Bennett gets set is high, 2-2. As the Caveman second baseman was halfway towards the dugout, he thought that was the end of the inning, but we've got 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the pitch is cut on and hit into deep right field and caught at the warning track. So a couple deep hits by the Vikings today, and we're tied 1-1 after 1.5. We'll be back with the Cavemen, bottom of the second, next.
With the feeling! With the feeling! With the feeling! All day like, all night like, offense like, defense like, with a sound like, with a sound like, with a sound like. Say something, 1, 2, 3, nice! Let's go!
So it's the pitcher Walker who is batting now. And he will be followed by Schoonover. And the 0-0 is taken for a ball, 1-0. So Jaron Spencer, the 1-0, is called low once again. And the Vikings dugout does not like that. Some hot mics over there would be pretty funny right now. And the 2-0 is sailed high, 3-0 now. Spencer dug himself into a similar hole before allowing an infield single to the first runner, as that ball is a strike. So 3-1 now. And there's another strike, so the count is full. Spencer working some magic here. As that ball is hit to short, Scow Fields throws in time. So a 6-3 ground out to open up the inning. The Vikings will be back in action tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. back home at Pleasant Grove, playing the same Cavemen team. The Vikings hope that it'll be the rubber match, and the Cavemen hope it'll be a chance for a sweep. So Schoonover comes up to bat, and he will be followed by Pace, as that ball bounces in front of the plate, 1-0. Schoonover last night went 1 for 3 with a single in the fourth. Excuse me, Tuesday night went 1 for 3 with a single in the fourth. As a 2-0 count quickly for Spencer. He continues to work himself into holes as that pitch is hit, skied into right field, and the catch cannot be made, and it's called foul. So the catch could not be made in foul territory. It was the second baseman, Fox, who was going for it, Crew Fox, and now the runner's going to come back. So American Fork is continually upset. And the last man before the lineup turns over for American Fork that we will see today is Tayson Howard. He did not play on Tuesday. So the 2-1 count is cut on and hit into shallow right field, and the catch will be made by the first baseman as Zamboni puts him away. As that ball is sliced into shallow left field, and the catch is not made. The center fielder will pick it up. He's digging for 2. The throw is in time, and he's out on the base paths. So a single for Pace, and he's thrown out at second. And just like that, the Vikings escape the second inning. As there's a base running error, we'll have Howard, Robinson, and Mascaro coming up in the bottom half of the third. But first, we got the Vikings half of the third. We'll see Baxter, Fox, and then the lineup turns over to Scow. We'll be back right after that. Funny, though, that he got thrown out. So, after 2, Vikings are tied with the Cavemen 1-1 as they got the final out on the base paths with a man thrown out at second. As Walker comes out for his third inning of work. As he'll try to shut down the Vikings lineup that got to him early in the first, and then he handled in the second. So Jacob Baxter up for the Vikings. They have 2 hits and a run today, with no walks, no strikeouts. And the 0-0 is grounded foul towards the Vikings dugout. As Crew Fox, who's playing second today, will come up behind Baxter. And that ball is hit into shallow right field and foul. So he'll pull up and head back to home with an 0-2 hole. So the 0-2
this. It's not super heavy, but it's an extra blanket. You look so cold. Is that all right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's why we love Pleasant Grove, guys. As that one's fouled back for the 0-2. Just got a blanket from a nice person in the stands. Apparently I looked too cold. So the 0-2 with no outs coming to Baxter. Walker has looked good today. He's allowed 2 hits, 1 run. After the leadoff triple, he's started to slow down and get back into his rhythm. The 0-2. Taken strike 3. He knew it right when it crossed the plate. So the first strikeout of the ball game for either team. And now we'll see Crew Fox as Baxter goes down looking. Riker Scow up to, on deck now. He had the triple to lead off the game and has scored the only Viking run. The 0-0 is in there for a strike. So 0-1 is the count now. As Crew Fox looks towards the third base coach for his signs. The 0-1 with 1 out is fouled back, straight back, and the count moves to 0-2. That ball will be recovered by Tua Wolfgram. He'll take it back with him to the Viking dugout. Keep it as a souvenir. The 0-2 is high, so 1-2 is the count now. Walker didn't seem too happy with that ball call, but it was made nonetheless, and he'll throw the 1-2 to Fox. And that's low, so 2-2 is the count now, as Fox is battling here. So we had a couple umpire meetings, per se, in the first inning. 1-2, as that's fouled back, so we'll do the 2-2 one more time. We had a couple umpire meetings. We had one in the bottom of the first that ultimately ended it with the pop-out double play 6-6. So it was just an amazing play by Riker Scow. It wasn't really an amazing play, it was a mistake that ended up paying off for the Vikings big time. And then in the top of the second, the Vikings thought they had men on first and second with no outs, and they sent the runner back, they sent the man on first back home, and then he grounded into a double play. And the Vikings went down 1-2-3. So Fox has worked a full count now, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, as he looks to get on base for Riker Scow. Here's the full count, as that's hit to the third baseman, backhanded. The throw is in time, so a good play. Pitch and catch at this point. It's a 5-3 putout. And we will now see Riker Scow for the second time today, who hit the leadoff triple and scored the Viking run. Batting righty, facing Walker for the second time. The pitch is hit into right field, slicing and foul. So 0-1. Sorry, 0-1 to Riker. As the pitch is what looked like at his belt, but a ball. So 1-1 with 2 outs. And the 1-1 is hit into left field. It's gonna have to make a play on it deep at the warning track, and the catch is made. That's the third Viking ball that went to the warning track, and the third one that's been caught there. So the Vikings showing some power today, but haven't been able to drive in a run that way. It's 1-1 after 2.5. We'll be back on PGSN.
With the feeling! With the feeling! With the field like, all day like, all night like, offense like, defense like, with the sound like, with the sound like, with the sound like. Something 1, 2, 3, let's go!
So after 2.5, the Vikings are tied with the Cavemen 1-1, and we will see Jaron Spencer out there for at least one more inning of work. He's looked good so far today, and he'll try to continue that. Spencer's a junior, making his first start of region play. So far he's through 2 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, no strikeouts, 1 run, and 2 errors defensively. Walker is through 3 with the same numbers we had him go out with last time. The Vikings have no hits, no walks, no runs, no men left on base. Offensively, forward for American Fork, and then their lineup turns over to Robinson and Mascaro. Once again, the wind is going north to south. So it's going from left field towards more of the infield first base. And the pitch drops in there for a strike against the left-handed Howard. The 0-1 is hit back towards the Vikings dugout. So there was an athletic move that kept the man from getting nailed in the calf. 0-2. Spencer's 0-2 is high. 1-2. Good take by Howard. Looks like Spencer was just seeing if he was going to chase, and he ultimately did not. The 1-2 count. Caught on and missed. The first K of the ball game for Spencer. And the lineup will turn over. We'll see Robinson for the second time. He reached on an infield single, stole second, and scored a run. Last game, he went 1 for 3 with a walk and a run, so he scored 2 of the Cavemen's 4 runs this series. And he looks to do some more damage, hitting lefty once again. And the pitch. Caught on and fouled back towards us. 0-1 is the count. I cut myself in woods today, and it's really hurting right now because it's so cold. As that ball looks like it might have snuck past the first baseman, but it's called foul by the umpire. So Ryder Robinson will be playing college baseball after this year. He'll be playing for TCU. He bats switch, and he throws righty, and there he goes down on strikes. So Jaron Spencer looking sharp right now. Robinson was given a perfect game grade of 9.5 out of 10, which means MLB potential. And Jaron Spencer just struck him out. So if Robinson can live up to what Perfect Game believes his potential is, Spencer has a story to tell his grandkids. As that is a perfect pitch that's dropped in there for a strike. 0-1. 0-1 with 2 outs, and the pitch is cut on and hit into shallow right field, and it'll drop for what looks like it'll be 1, and he's rounding first, going for second, and he's caught up now. He's caught up in between first and second as the Vikings get him out on the base pass. So that's another base running error that ends the inning. It happened to Pace last inning. It happens to Mascaro here. We'll have the top half of the Vikings fourth right after that. After this one, just do this one. So after 3.5, Vikings are tied with American Fork 3-3. American Fork American Forks manager is not going to let them. Thank you so much. American Forks manager is not going to let them live either of those base running mistakes down. They ended the second and the third on singles that they tried to stretch out to doubles that they again got thrown out on. As I'd like to thank this amazing lady who's given both of us now, the producer and the commentator, she's given both of us blankets, and it makes it a lot more bearable out here. So we'd love to thank her for the support of PGSN unknowingly. As Wolfgram now will lead off the top of the fourth, as Walker will be out for his fourth inning of work. So Spencer gets 2 Ks and 1 out on the base pass in his third inning. So after 3 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, so he's got his control down, which has been good for him. He's had a couple at-bats where it's looked like he's started to lose the strike zone, but he's come back and really made hitters work for what they've done with 2 strikeouts, 1 run, and then 2 errors defensively. And Walker, after 3, had 2 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, no strikeouts. Oh, excuse me, he does have 1 strikeout, and then 1 run. So leading off the top of the 4th inning to a Wolfgram, he will be followed by Zamboni, who will be followed by Chris Jansen. As that hit gets past the second baseman, and Wolfgram opens the inning up with a single. So a single to through the first hole into right field, and the Vikings have a hit to start. As Wolfgram will be held on by Watts. And here's Zamboni. In his first at-bat, he grounded out to short. And the pitch is hit into right to the second baseman, and he drops it. They're going to say he turned a double play. And the umps do switch the call to the correct call. You're not allowed, or I believe they told Zamboni to get on first and Tua to move to second, but the infield fly was in effect for that, so Tua is allowed to stay on first. So the double play was not turned. There was a pop out to second by Zamboni. Up comes Chris Jansen, who will be followed by Slater Scow. So the infield fly leaves Tua on first with Tanner Chris Jansen at the dish. He flew out to center field to end the first inning, his first time up. And here's the 0-0. Outside for a ball. Tua Wolfgram is committed to BYU, and he is on first. Tanner Chris Jansen's playing center today, wearing number 6, batting righty. He takes that one for a strike, 1-1. Wolfgram is very active on the bases. I would not be entirely surprised to see him try and swipe one here. But we'll see if Pleasant Grove's manager would rather have. And they're going to check on him, and he is safe. The Vikings scored their first run of region play last game. Baxter drew a walk. They checked on him. A ball got past him, which moved him to second. A pass ball moved him to third. And then a balk brought him home. So we'll see if American Fork might get a little hesitant to keep checking on him if a similar play is made. Watts is at first. He was pitching last game, so a different first baseman. Tua looked like he was going to go. The ball is hit directly to the left fielder, and he'll go back to first base. He had a jump, like he was ready to run, and then pulled back after the bat made contact. But Chris Jansen flies out to left, and that brings up Slater Scow, who had the second Viking hit of the game, a single in the second towards center field, and he drew multiple walks on Tuesday. As there's a strike, the umpire waited to call it until after Coach Henry had said good take. Made him look a little silly. 0-1 with 2 outs. We're still knotted up at 1. And they'll check on Tua one more time. He stays safe. So Slater Scow is the younger brother of Riker Scow. He played second last night. He's playing, I keep making that mistake. He played second on Tuesday night, and he's playing left field today. The 0-1 pitch is finally made, and it's hit directly to the third baseman and bounces over his glove. Two around second, goes for third, and he'll be held there. So a double by Slater Scow, and the Vikings have 2 men in scoring position with 2 outs. So a double it bounced over the left fielder's glove. It's a tough play to make as a fielder, but he looked a little hesitant to get in front of it. He just stuck his arm out, and with the way baseballs bounce, you can't just stick your arm out and hope for a result. That's what he did. Didn't get in front of it, and ultimately resulted in a Slater Scow double, and brings up the catcher Brad Farr with men on second and third with nobody out, with 2 outs. As that ball gets past the catcher, Tua is going to be home very safely, and Slater Scow advances to third. So the Vikings take a 2-1 lead on a pass ball. And just like that, Vikings are in front. Slater Scow, as I mentioned, moved up to third, and American Fork is going to have a meeting on the mound. So far, 2 hits, no walks, 1 run, and 1 man on base for Pleasant Grove. We'll take a break while and they break it. They break their huddle right when we were about to take our break. So 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Vikings up 2-1. It's Brad Farr at the dish. He's catching. I believe he was playing first on Tuesday, but I could be very wrong about that. The pitch is fouled back. Getting told he was playing third. In high school, no one has a set position. It's so hard to figure out where they were. Especially when you have some players who can pitch and hit, and that pitch is just inside the zone, so 1-2 moves the count. As that is foul, the count will stay 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Vikings lead 2-1. Man on third. Vikings look to take advantage of the opportunity on this pitch. And he strikes out swinging. But not before the Vikings score a run. 2 hits, no walks, 1 run, and 1 man left on base. Bottom half of the 4th coming up on PGSN. Exquisite Soccer. So after 3.5, Vikings lead 2-1. After the RBI passed ball, I guess, brought home to a Wolfgram on his leadoff single, and Jaron Spencer is out for his 4th inning of work. Walker threw 4. We expect him to pitch more than that, but so far through 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, and no errors by the defense behind him. We'll see Rojas, Watts, and Murdoch for American Fork this inning. Watts pitched last game and hit, and is hitting again today. Vikings will be back in action on Friday, tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. The game will be in Pleasant Grove and broadcast, as always, here on PGSN. And we will have coverage for you beginning just about that time, as we'll see the Vikings take on the Cavemen for the 3rd and final time during the regular season. They lost yesterday. They're in front early today, and we'll see what they can do tomorrow. Vikings hoping it will be a rubber match, and hoping they can win the series, and American Forks hoping they can go for the sweep tomorrow. The 0-0 pitch to Rojas, the righty, is in there for a strike. Beautiful pitch by Spencer. And the 0-1, Spencer peers through his glove. And the pitch is spiked in front of the plate. Good block by Farrer. So the count moves to 1-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Vikings up 2-1. They lost on Tuesday night, a heartbreaker, 3-2. The 1-1, outside, ball. American Fork scored the go-ahead run in the 7th inning, and PG could not do anything in the bottom of the 9th, as that ball's hit foul right towards his third base coach. 2-2. Pleasant Grove could not do anything in their bottom half of the 7th, and ultimately ended their home opener with a loss. Looking to bounce back here. 2-2. Sorry, 2-2, and 2-2 is the count. 2-1 is the score. As that pitch is high, moves the count full. And the payoff is hit in the shortstop gap, and it can't be stopped by Riker Scow. A leadoff single by Rojas, and he'll make the smart decision to not go towards second, something they've struggled with doing today, as the leadoff single will bring up Dax Watts. He pitched last game and went 2 for 4 from at the plate with 2 singles. Rojas is 2 for 2 today, as he's looking hot. And they'll check on the runner. It gets past the first baseman, and he's going to go for second, and he'll be in safely. So an error moves Rojas to second. And a runner in scoring position to lead off the 4th for American Fork, and that is the 3rd Viking defensive error today. They got lucky, one of which resulted in a double play. They had errors on back-to-back batters, one of them being Watts, as that pitch is inside for a ball. They had errors on back-to-back batters, one of them being Watts, and then Watts got out in a crazy double play. The 1-0 pitch by Spencer is fouled behind American Fork's dugout and just out of play. So the 1-1 now. Braden Marks was expected to start this game. Was told pregame that he has a little bit of soreness or tightness in his calf that's kept him from pitching the last couple nights. We'll see if he's good to go tomorrow, but if not, we hope he can pitch Tuesday's game against Skyridge. Spencer gets ready for his 1-1. And he'll check on the runner at second. Just a precautionary move. A short throw towards Fox. As Watts eagerly awaits his 1-1, and he will make it a 1-2 with a foul. So Spencer looks to punch him out on this 1-2 as Watts takes his time getting ready. Looks towards second and delivers high. So the count moves to 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. Cut on hit right towards the shortstop and over the head of Riker Scow. And the runners will stop at the corners. And it's a single for Watts that moves Rojas to third. And we will see Isaac Murdoch now as he looks to at least tie up the game here with runners on the corners. He hit into that extremely unfortunate double play earlier in the game. Technically earlier in the week. But he hit into the pop-out double play 6-6, as we're calling it here. Where infield fly rule was called, the runner started going, and then the man on first was safe, and out comes Coach Henry. We'll see if he'll take the ball from Spencer. It doesn't look like he will. It looks like he's just up there for a mound visit. With runners on the corners and nobody out, American Fork has a chance to make a big difference in this score, as Spencer will stay on the mound. As Coach Henry walks off. Once again, 2-1 is your score on a freezing day in American Fork, as the Vikings lead 2-1 after 3.5. Nobody out, runners on the corners, and Murdoch is batting for American Fork. As Spencer looks towards first where Watts is sitting, his pitch is fouled back towards us, so 0-1 moves the count. And they're going to throw it to first just to make sure Watts knows he's being looked at. The wind stopped for about 5 to 10 seconds there, and this game would be a lot more manageable without it. The 0-1 cut on and missed. 0-2 is your count now. Murdoch just has to avoid a big mistake here. And the pitch. Caught on and missed. A big strikeout for Murdoch. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. And up comes Walker, who grounded out. Shortstop to first, his first time up. And the Vikings will hope he can hit the ball to a similar place, as they're hoping for an inning-ending double play here. So Spencer faces Walker, the righty. And that pitch is high at the letters. And 1-0 moves the count. Spencer's 1-0. As the runner goes, and he's hung up. As the Vikings, American Fork gets lucky as second is stolen. Watts started going just in the middle of nothing, and then the runner Rojas smartly started faking towards home. The runner Rojas started making towards home, and the Vikings threw towards third, which has both runners safe and a man at second. So Spencer looking in now. And his pitch is hit into center field, shallow center. A lot shallower than I thought, as the second baseman makes the catch. And there are 2 outs now with runners on second and third. A pop out to Crew Fox. And up comes Schoonover with 2 outs. Runners on second and third. The Vikings have a chance to make a big play. American Fork has a chance to make a big play. We'll see who prevails. Rojas on third, Watts on second. The pitch. Way high, but cut on and foul back, so 0-1. I don't know what's more impressive, that Spencer fooled him to swing for it, or that Schoonover still made contact. The 0-1 count. Spencer looks in. He's going to step off. So a huge smart play by Rojas as Watts ran towards second to kind of deke out the Vikings and get runners safe at second and third. A good pitch by Spencer, and he's up big in the count 0-2. We'll see if he can make his last pitch that he needs. The 0-2 pitch is high, as the runners will hurry back to their bags. The 1-2 for Spencer now. The junior needs to make a big pitch. Is 1-2. High once again. So the count moves 2-2 with 2 outs. 2-1 your score. Vikings lead. As Jaron Spencer has gone down early in counts. This time he goes up early. He's trying to keep himself in it. 2-2. Did he go? No, he didn't. The count will move full. The catcher looked towards first to ask the ump if he swung, but the ump is standing in front of second because there are runners on. So a full count, the biggest pitch of the day so far. Here's Spencer. That's hit into shallow right field, and it'll find grass. 1 run scores. And they're going to hold him there. So they're going to hold him at 1 run as a double for Schoonover to shallow right field. So we've got a tie ball game as Rojas scores. Got to first on a single, got to second on an error, got to third off of Watt's single, and then scores on Schoonover's double. That's the second earned run allowed by Spencer today, and it ties the ball game up. As that pitch is cut on and missed by Pace. Pace hit a single and then was out at second on a base running error in the second inning. As I don't believe that was a pitch, but the count's 1-1. He might have just fooled me, but I thought he was stepping off to make a throw to home. The 1-1. Cut on to short. Scow. Fields throws in time to end the inning. Spencer works himself in and out of trouble, allowing only one run. Vikings look to take the lead in the top of the fifth. Right after this on PGSN. So after 4 innings, we're tied up 2-2. Spencer made a couple big pitches at the end of that one to keep the Vikings in it. Walker is back out and will face 7, 8, and 9 in the Viking order. Bennett, Baxter, and Fox. Bennett's DHing, Baxter's playing third, and Fox is playing second. So the Vikings took the lead in the first, and American Fork tied it back up in the first. The Vikings took the lead back in the fourth, and American Fork tied it back up in the bottom half of that inning. So we're through 4, a little over halfway through. Game's been going for about an hour and 15 minutes.
You're more than halfway through.
So we will play the top of the fifth now. Jaron Spencer still hasn't walked a man, as there's a ball taken by Bennett. He still hasn't walked a man. He has 3 Ks. And the Vikings defense has 3 errors today. And there's a strike to Bennett. As the count moves to 1s. Knotted up at 1-1. The 1-1. Bennett hits softly towards second, fielded, and a quick, easy throw to Watts. And down goes the first Viking, as there is a 4-3 putout. So we will see Jacob Baxter now, who struck out his first time up. It's one of only 2 strikeouts for Walker. As he looks to deliver his 1-0. 2-0. We've got a 2-0 count with 1 out, as that one's way outside to move the count to 3-0. So the 3-0 count, as there's a strike, 3-1. That was a big pitch for Walker, excuse me. And Jacob Baxter takes his base, the first walk of the ball game for either team. And just like that, Vikings have a man on first with one out. Crew Fox is coming up, and he'll be followed by Riker Scow if the opportunity presents itself. Scow had the leadoff triple and then flew out to deep, deep left field in the third inning. The empty count, as there's a bunt placed perfectly towards the pitcher, as second base is covered well. But Fox does his job, so the sac bunt moves the runner to second. And the lineup will turn over. They bring Riker Scow up with 2 outs and a man in scoring position. As Wolfgram's toe just got caught by the turf monster in front of us. All looks well. So Riker Scow with his empty count now. We'll take that one and shoot it into right field. And rounding third and coming home is Baxter. A single by Scow, and the Vikings have retaken the lead 3-2. So Scow has scored a run and now driven in a run today. And now we have Tua Wolfgram coming up with a man on first and 2 outs. So Fox's bunt by moving the runner to second pays off exactly how the Vikings could have hoped it would. And Wolfgram, who hit a sacrifice fly and got an RBI in the first, takes a ball, as well as a single in the fourth, and scored a run on a pass ball. So Wolfgram with the 1-0 count. Man on first, and they're going to check on him. He's safe. So Tua with a run and an RBI today. Also had an RBI on Tuesday night. So 2 ribbies on the season for Wolfgram and 1 run. Needs a big hit to get his 3rd of the season today, as Scow's again safe at first. The MLB has a 2 pickoff per at-bat rule. That's not a rule in high school baseball. He can keep checking on Scow as much as he wants. But it looks like he's going to give the 1-0 to Tua. High, so 2-0 moves the count. Tua will be followed by Zamboni if he is to get on base. And Scow's running, and he is safe. As the ball hops over the glove of the second baseman, fielded right behind him by the shortstop, so that's where Scow will stop. But now a single, an RBI, and a stolen base. A triple, a run, an RBI, and a stolen base for Scow. So a productive night for the BYU commit. Here's Tua with the 2-0 count. I believe it might be a 3-0. The 2-0 count is high, so I was right, it was a 3-0. So Tua takes his base. We've got runners on first and second, 2 outs, and Zamboni up now. The second walk of the inning for PG. So they hadn't had one coming in now. Baxter took a walk, moved to second on a sac bunt, and scored from there on a Riker Scow single. And now Tua's walked, and there are runners on first and second. The pitch. Just inside. So the 0-1. Tua will not be held on by Watts. He's close enough to cause some trouble if Tua's lead gets too big, but he's not standing on the bag. So the 0-1 to Zamboni, as the catcher is going to call time. Zamboni will be followed by Tanner Christiansen, if he is to get on base. So the 0-1 with 2 outs. Vikings up 3-2. Runners on first and second, looking to make some more noise in the top of the 5th. As now the pitcher steps off. So we'll get set for a third time for the 0-1. Catcher called time, pitcher called time. Wonder if it's Tua's turn now. As the 0-1 is hit up the middle and through for a base hit. Rounding second, coming home is Scow. Tua stays at second. Vikings take a 4-2 lead. A big hit for Zamboni as he hits the ball right up the middle and he finds a hole. The RBI single. And now we will see Tanner Christiansen with runners once again on first and second and 2 outs. So Riker Scow with a semi-productive 5th inning so far. A single RBI, stolen base, and a run. As American Fork will call a mound visit. And they're going to bring a man out of the pen. So Walker's night is over. He is accountable for the runners on first and second, but he makes it through 4 2/3. And he has allowed 6 hits, earned runs still yet to be decided because he is accountable for the runners on first and second. He ends up walking 2 in his final inning, only striking out 2. And then, again, his runs are to be determined. But American Fork will bring out number 27, Gabe Hollenbach. And we'll come back from break right after this. So, bringing out Gabe Hollenbach as Walker's night is over through 4 2/3. Viking up 4-2 with Tua Wolfgram on second and Hayden Zamboni on first. Tanner Christiansen comes up in a big spot, the center fielder for the Vikings. As Hollenbach looks to shut him down in the 5th and get out of here with minimal damage. But Christiansen is up now. Slater Scow would be up next, and then Brad Farrer is sitting in the hole. Coming up for American Fork in the bottom half of this inning, Howard, and then their lineup will flip over. Robinson and Mascaro are Howard, Robinson, and Mascaro were the 3 we know we'll see. And then Rojas will come up if either of them get on base with Watts as the 5th man up. So 2 pitches left for Hollenbach. There's one. And it looks like he's going to be done with that one. He's not going to take his second. So for Pleasant Grove, Tanner Christiansen, number 6, the center fielder, will be the first to face Hollenbach. The empty count with runners on first and second. Pitches outside for a ball. The heater. And the 1-0 cut on and missed by Christiansen. Weekly waves at it. And the count moves to 1s. So a big pitch for Hollenbach coming up. The 1-1. as that's going to be grounded foul left of third base. Chris Jansen has flown out twice today and went 0 for 3 last game, so he's hitless in region play and hasn't gotten on base. So he's looking to end that streak here and ultimately bring in a run, no matter how he does it. So the 1-2 is hit into center field and directly at the center fielder. So down goes Chris Jansen, but not before the Vikings score twice. 4-2 is your score. Vikings lead after 4.5. So after 4.5, Vikings lead 4-2. They don't have a pitcher out, so you begin to wonder if that means that Spencer's night is over. And it is not. Spencer will be coming out for his 5th inning of work. So that means that Walker's line is final. 4 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and no errors will be it for him. So Hollenbach comes in for 1 out and does his job as he strikes out, or excuse me, he forces a fly out from Chris Jansen. But not before the Vikings do some damage, and some big damage nonetheless. We'll be back with American Fork betting. So we will see Howard, Robinson, or I guess Spencer will see Howard for the 2nd time, Robinson and Mascaro for the 3rd time. They are a combined 2 for 5 against him today with 2 singles. And Robinson scored in the 1st inning, the TCU commit. So the Vikings face Howard, the lefty. The Vikings... the first pitch is caught on and miss 0-1. The Vikings infield going from 3rd to 1st. Baxter, Scow, Fox, Zamboni. The outfield going from right to left is Wolfgram, Chris Jansen, and Scow. Behind the plate is Farrer, and that strike is delivered by the pitcher, Spencer. So quickly up 0-2. Allowed a run in the last inning, but got out with minimal damage. And then the Vikings gave him some run support in the top half of this one. That pitch is high and away, so 1-2 is the count now. Spencer's 1-2. Caught on and hit towards Zamboni. He fields and will step on the bag himself to get the first out. So a 3-3 ground out. Will turn over the order, and up comes the TCU commit Robinson. Spencer will face him for the 3rd time. An infield single, stolen base, a run, and then a strikeout. That's what Robinson has done today. Spencer's empty pitch. Throw it in, and Robinson is going to stay at first, which brings up Mascaro. So a single to right. And just like that, 1 man on first and 1 out for American Fork. Mascaro has singled well, I guess I should start from the beginning. He grounded out to open. That went catcher to first. And they're going to check on Robinson. And then he hit a single in the third, turned the corner to go to second, and then got out in a rundown. It was the second time that it happened for American Fork this game. It hasn't happened since. But it's not something you expect to happen once. He doesn't get that call. It was a really good pitch. But he doesn't get the call, so 1-0. And Spencer's 1-0 is blocked, and they're going to run. Robinson is in safely. Farr's arm hit the hitter, and Coach Henry's going to talk about a possibility of interference.
Come on.
So moving to second is Robinson on what I guess is technically a stolen base, so his second of the ball game. As Mascaro now has a man in scoring position with a 2-0 count. Robinson was a nuisance earlier on second, and he's going to try and be the same thing here. It's very helpful for a batter when the pitcher's more worried about the man on the base paths than he is about you, as that pitch goes high, so 3-0. So the 3-0 pitch with 1 out. Robinson on second. He deals. In for a strike. Beautiful pitch, 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Mascaro waiting for the 3-1. And the pitch is hit into shallow right field, and the catch is made by Wolfgram. So a fly out to right. And there's 2 outs now, and up comes Rojas, who has 2 singles and a run today. Both singles went in between, they both found the shortstop hole. Rojas, on Tuesday night, had a very eventful night. He went 2 for 3, got hit by a pitch, had 2 RBIs, and got the save. So he was extremely valuable and has been extremely valuable for American Fork this season so far in region play. We'll see if, I guess you could say he's the Vikings' kryptonite. We'll see if the Vikings can overcome that here. With Rojas up, he's batting righty. As Robinson's a switch hitter. He's gone from the left side every time he's been up. It doesn't look like Rojas has a choice. As that one drops in for a strike. Rojas batted last inning. He really started the rally. He did score the run that they scored last inning. If Rojas can get on, then Watts will be the next man up. The Vikings look a little hesitant to turn to their bullpen as Spencer's 0-1 is hit into left field, and the catch is made. So I guess we'll hold that thought until after break. We'll see the Vikings. We'll see Scal, Farr, and Bennett. 5, 6, 7 right after this.
With the feeling! With the feeling! With the feeling! All day like, all night like, offense like, defense like, with a sound like, with a sound like, with a sound like. Say something, 1, 2, 3, nine! Let's go!
So after 5, Vikings lead 4-2, and they'll be up here as American Fork brings out Holenbach for another inning of work. He got the last out in the last one, and they'll bring him out here. He will face Slater Scow, Brad Farrer, and Nash Bennett if he stays in for all 3 batters. Vikings looking to take a commanding lead. Slater Scow today has singled and doubled, so rocking just a 1.5 OPS. Or excuse me, a 2.5 OPS, 1.5 slugging, and then a 1 dot on base percentage. As Coach Henry is going to run a little bit, and it looks like he's going to go sit out by 3rd this inning.
Where he normally sits.
And Slater Scow is up. He is playing in left today. As that pitch is in for a strike. So 0-1 is the count. Once again, Farrer and Bennett will be up after him. And that is hit to 3rd base. And it's fumbled, and he's going to be safe. So infield single is what that will be scored. And we've got a man on first with Farrer coming up. And it looks like they're going to pinch hit. They're going to bring up Robinson. So Farrer's night is over. And Robinson is up. He pinch hit last game and flew out to right. His 1 time up. He will also be slated in to catch defensively after this. But with a man on first, it's the pinch hitter Robinson, batting righty. It will be followed by Nash Bennett. The pitch. He shows bunt, and it goes in for a strike. So that's an interesting idea to pinch hit someone and then have them just bunt. You figure you could have Farrer in, who you'd rather have in defensively. As Robinson shows bunt again, as that pitch is low and outside, so 1-1 moves the count. We'll see if they keep having Robinson bunt, or if they'll have him try to square one up and find a hole. You're up 2, so I figured you'd try and extend the lead instead of just going for 1 run. And they'll check on the runner at first. He's safe. So as I mentioned earlier, Robinson pinch hit last game and flew out to right. And this is his first at-bat today, pinch hitting for the catcher Brad Farrer. And his pitch is a strike. He shows bunt again, fouls it back. 1-2 is the count now. Up 4-2, the 1-2 to Robinson. They'll check on the runner again. Scow's caught up in between first and second. He's just going to go for it, and he's tagged out. So the caught stealing, they threw over to first, and Scow knew he couldn't get back, so he just started running towards second, and he got caught stealing. So now that likely takes the bunt off for Robinson, and they'll likely have him swing, but because of the caught stealing, that does reset Robinson's count, so he's back at 0-0 as that pitch is outside for a ball. 1-0. So there's a base running error by the Vikings. American Fork has had their share today, and Pleasant Grove has their first. As that is hit to the shortstop, fielded cleanly, throw to first in time. So a 6-3 ground out for Robinson in his pinch hit appearance. And now up is Nash Bennett, the DH. You also figure you might have Robinson wait, because Robinson doesn't really catch, to my knowledge. So you figure you'd have Robinson wait and then pinch hit for this man, Nash Bennett. But coach wanted Nash Bennett to hit, so 1-0. And then Baxter will follow if Bennett gets on base, as there's a strike. 1-1. Foul back. The 1-1. Low for a ball. 2-1. With nobody on. That one drops in for a strike. Nash doesn't like it. Thought it was inside. As that one you're hearing is Crew Fox. The 2-2. Is fouled in play, so the third baseman throws to first, and that will end the inning for PG. And we'll see if Spencer comes out for his 6th inning of work. PG is up 4-2. We'll be back right after this. So after 5.5, we will see Spencer on the mound going into his 6th inning of work. Behind the dish is what looks like Farr. I guess I might be a little confused on the pinch hitting rules. I thought that they'd have to bring in Robinson to play catcher, but that's either Farr or Rex Howard. Harward, excuse me.
It's Farr.
And that looks like it is Farr. So, Jaron Spencer will face 4, 5, and 6 in the American Fork order. Watts, the first baseman, Murdoch, and then Walker, all for the 3rd time. Watts has singled and reached on an error, so he has gotten on both times he's been up. Murdoch popped out into a double play in the 1st, struck out in the 4th, and Walker grounded out in the 2nd and popped out in the 4th. So they are 1 for 5 against Spencer, which is ultimately, you have to believe, one of the reasons that Henry brings him out. I believe this will be his last inning of work, regardless of how it goes, but as there's a strike, he was way in front of that one. Spencer slowed him down with that off speed. And now that's got to be in the back of Watt's head as he's thinking about what's coming here. As there's another one that looks a little slow. But it was high, so it's a 2-1. And his 2-1 is grounded up to Crew Fox, the second baseman, fields cleanly, and the throw to first is in time. So a 4-3 ground out is the first out of the inning for Spencer. And now he will face Murdoch. Or I believe it's Murdoch. It is Murdoch. So the empty count for American Fork is they need to put some runs on the board. Down 2. As there's a pitch that drops in for a strike. That's just unhittable. The movement on that and the placement just makes it impossible to do anything about that. As the 0-1 is popped up in play, infield fly, and the catch is made by the third baseman, Jacob Baxter. So the pop out to the third baseman, and now there's 2 down here. So it's up to Walker to try and get the rally started here. As I mentioned earlier, ground out from short to first, and then a pop out to the second baseman has been his day today. The 0-0 is high, moves it to 1-0. On Tuesday night, Walker went 0 for 3 with a flyout, a fielder's choice, and a strikeout. As that pitch is low, 2-0. This might end up being an old announcer's jinx, but no walks have been issued by Spencer. As there's one hit straight towards the third baseman, and he can't make the catch. So Baxter can't come up with that one. It's a leadoff single, and he'll make it to second safely, moving it to a double. Walker hits a double to left, and that brings up Schoonover, who is 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI. He has a man in scoring position here. Spencer's going to stay out there. Up 2 outs. Man on second. It's Walker. It's the first time he's reached this series. The pitch is hit directly into center field, and over the head of the center fielder. Rounding third, coming home is Walker, and he's in safely. Rounding second, going for 3 is Schoonover, and it looks like that's what he'll settle for as he's in there safely. So a triple by Schoonover, the second of the game, the first for American Fork, and now it's pace up. So 2 quick outs, and then a double, and then an immediate triple, and American Fork's only down 1 with a man on third. A beautiful pitch in there by Spencer. He seemed to have lost some velocity, but no doubt some terrific movement on that one. The 0-1 is grounded weakly to short. Scow, the throw, not in time. Oh, in time! Beautiful play. Tried to slide. Didn't get in time. Coaches don't like it. I don't think there's a way to challenge it. So 6-3 to end the inning. And Vikings will bat one final time, up 4-3. Next on PGSN.
With the feeling! With the feeling! With the feeling! All day like, all night like, offense like, defense like, with the sound like, with the sound like, with the sound like. 1, 2, 3, let's go!
So after 6, PG leads 4-3. Coming up this inning will be Baxter Fox, and the lineup will turn over to Scow. It'll be his 4th at-bat of the ball game. Baxter playing 3rd today. Looking to get on base to provide some insurance for Pleasant Grove, as they're only up 1. The pitch is hit foul down the right field line in front of first base. The 0-1 incoming as they keep shooting Hollenbach up, and the 2nd to 1st ground out as Watts makes a good play. So Crew Fox is up. He has a sac bunt and a ground out today. And we'll see if he can make some noise. The pitch. Outside. 1-0. So Hollenbach is through 1 2/3 now, but before the inning he was through 1 1/3 with 1 hit and 0 everywhere else across the board. The Vikings have only struck out twice this game. Both came at the hands of Walker. Spencer has only struck out 3 cavemen. So both teams putting the ball in play as there's a high strike. The 2-1. High. 3-1.
Said it was 2-2.
As Fox takes a walk, and the Vikings have a man on base for Riker Scow, who's been nothing but trouble for American Fork today. A single and a triple, both to right field, 1 RBI, 2 runs, and a stolen base. So he is accountable for 3 of PG's 4 runs today. And the Vikings are looking to make some noise here. Hollenbach stays in.
They pinch runs.
As the Vikings have pinch ran, they brought in Van Haney as a runner. And the pitch is a strike. Recker looking for his 3rd hit of the ball game in his 4th at bat. Takes that one outside, 1-1. So the Vikings have now used 2 men off their bench, as Tua will come up after Scow. Hit into deep center field, over the head, and caught by the center fielder. A great hit by Scow. He's gone deep multiple times today. But none of them have made it to the wall. The wind is a little weaker now, but still going north to south as Wolfgram comes up with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Zamboni on deck if Wolfgram is to get on. Wolfgram batting from the left-hand side, so batting righty. The pitch. In there for a strike. The 0-1. Hollenbach. He's going to check on the runner, who's safe. And they're going to check on him once again. So the 0-1 is hit into right field and foul. And out of play. So the count moves to 0-2. Good contact by Wolfgram. So the 0-2 as Hollenbach looks to make a big pitch to bring American Fork up with a chance to tie. Just high, 1-2. Looked like a borderline strike. Ultimately gets called a ball. Crisis aversion as they check on the runner one more time. I believe that if the count was empty, that would have been called a strike, but it was just on the border. Ump didn't want to ring him up on such a close pitch, so they left it because no damage done with 0 moving to 1 balls, as that's a pitch up at his face, moving to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Vikings up 4-3, top of the 7th. Hollenbach looking to stifle him. Bring American Fork up with a chance to win. His 2-2 is high as well, so the count moves full. Not a bigger pitch in this game. And Watts is going to go talk to his pitcher. Just says a couple words. Watts pitched to Scow on Tuesday, and Scow did not get on. Scow got on base once, drawing a walk, and then Wolfgram got on base with a single once against Watts. And the throw is high, so Wolfgram walks. Big bat flip on that walk. Almost flipped all the way to the Viking dugout.
No, I can usually keep it bundled up.
And there goes Zamboni. Coming up to bat, he has a single, a ground out, and a pop out, but the single did score a run. He's looking to do the same thing here with runners on first and second, 2 outs. It looks like they'll keep shooting Hollenbach in the game, but they'll talk to him on how to approach this tough right-handed hitter. 1 for 3 today with an RBI. Tuesday night, he went 1 for 3 with 2 Ks. As the umpire approaches the huddle to break it up. So 4-3 as players get set one more time. The 0-0 count to Hayden Zamboni. Runners on first and second. Vikings up 1, 2 outs. Hollenbach. And it's grounded to second. It's going to be Robinson that fields it, and he can't make a throw. He can't make a throw. It slips out of Robinson's hands, and just like that, the bases are loaded. Zamboni looked dead to rights, and Robinson tried to rush his throw, And now the bases are juiced for Tanner Christiansen, as it's the third hit of the inning. Sorry, the third man on base in the inning for the Vikings. Christiansen has flown out 3 times, once to left, twice to center, as he takes a pitch inside for a ball. There is nobody warming up in American Forks pen. It looks like they're going to leave it up to Hollenbach to get out of this situation. No matter what, damage is done. Slater Scow, Riker's brother, is up, as there's a pitch just on the outside corner. He's on deck. Slater has made some huge plays today with a single, a double, and an infield single. So he's 3 for 3 so far. But first we focus on Tanner Christiansen, who gets hit by a pitch, and that scores a run. So a run scored by the pinch runner Van Haney, who just kept moving bases on walks and ultimately scores a run on the hit by pitch. The Vikings take a 2-run lead as the 3 for 3 Slater Scow comes up. As Tua is, I believe, coming out. He does come out for a pinch runner. Drake Terry comes in for Tua. So Tua Wolfgram's night, on the base paths at least, is over as he gets pinch ran for by Drake Terry. And a big hit, and off the glove of Drew Robinson. Slater Scow gets in on an error, and 2 runs will score. The Vikings go up 7-3 on a big error by Drew Robinson. Just hit it hard towards him and ultimately scores 2 runs for Pleasant Grove. Hollenbach is in deep trouble. As that pitch is outside for Robinson, who pinch hit for Farr in the last inning and is now back up today. As that one's called a strike, 1-1. So the Vikings making big moves. The 1-1 with 2 outs. Up 7-3. Here's the pitch. That one catches the corner, 1-2. So Brad Farr with Slater Scow on first and Zamboni on second. The pitch is fouled back, straight back, and out of play. Moves the count to 1-2. Hollenbach needs to make a big pitch here if he wants to get out of it. The 1-2. Caught on and missed. So the Vikings go down on strikes, but not before they score 3. Up 7-3. Bottom of the 7th. Up next on PGSN. So Hollenbach's night is likely over. He went 2 1/3 inning with 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and 3 runs allowed. The Vikings are going to keep Spencer out there as he is in line for the win. If he can close this out here, they're up 4. And American Fork pinch hits. So Howard is done. And it's number 13 for American Fork who's up. As there's a strike, it's Dawson Adamson. As he will hit it into deep left field, and the catch cannot be made. So a leadoff double for Adamson. As it's a double to left, it was a jumping catch for Slater Scout that he could just not come up with. And ultimately, there's a man on second, and they're going to pinch run for him. They're going to bring Howard back out.
I feel like getting so hyped.
So now it's the TCU commit. Robinson coming up. He has 2 singles and a strikeout today. He's also scored a run. Has a chance to do something big here. Down 7-3 as he hits that one into right field. And Tua Wolfgram makes the catch. Tagging up and staying at second is Howard. So the fly out to right, and there is 1 gone. As there is a strike. As he bounces that one in front of the plate, runner will stay. And the count moves 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Vikings up 7-3. Mascaro up to bat. And that ball is a strike. Looked a little inside. Mascaro backed off the plate a little bit, but the ump calls it a strike, and 1-2 now for Spencer. He has 3 strikeouts on the night. And the 1-2, caught on and missed. Strike 3. And the runner will advance. So the 4th strikeout for Spencer, and American Fork is down to their final out.
Come on, 2 outs. 1 more, boys.
The empty pitch. High and inside, 1-0. And that ball is hit to the third baseman. Can't be fielded. It gets past him. 1 run scores.
Nobody hurt. Here you go.
As that's going to be the 4th error on the Vikings defense. So it's the 4th run scored. It's the first one that's been unearned, but the 4th Viking error. So now it's Rojas. A lot of pinch hitting happening for American Fork right now. Or excuse me, Rojas just about it. It's Watts. I apologize. 1-0 is the count. And that pitch is hit to Riker Scout. He comes up with it. And he'll get the out at second. And just like that, the Vikings win their first region game 7-4. We'd like to remind you we'll be back on Friday at 3:30 when Pleasant Grove takes on this American Fork team in the rubber match. We'll see you then. We thank you for watching PGSN and the continued support of our program. Have a great night.